Question 1. Penicillin are antibiotics. Some bacteria produce an enzyme that break down one sort of penicillin. The gene that codes for this enzyme may be passed from one species of bacteria to another. Describe how. There are two types of gene transmission. There is horizontal gene transfer and vertical gene transfer. The diagram you can see at the moment is vertical gene transmission. This is transfer of genetic information, for example antibiotic resistance in bacteria, from one generation to the next, as opposed to horizontal gene transfer. And horizontal gene transmission, which happens during conjugation, where antibiotic resistance can be passed from one bacterium to another. Now this question is asking the gene that codes for this enzyme may be passed from one species of bacteria to another. Describe how. So it is asking for horizontal gene transmission. So the answer is horizontal gene transmission through conjugation through pilus. For the next question, you need to be reminded that penicillin are antibiotics and some bacteria produce an enzyme that break down one sort of penicillin. There are different sorts of penicillin. All of these have the same basic chemical structure, but group X is different. Bacterial infection cannot be treated with one sort of penicillin, and it can be treated with a different sort. Use your knowledge of enzyme action to explain why the different sort of penicillin is effective in treating the infection. So you need to remember that some bacteria produce an enzyme that break down one sort of penicillin. This question is asking for 3 marks. So you are looking for a mark for shape, a mark for binding, and a mark for consequence. Now the mark for shape. The shape is different penicillins have different shape or structure. Enzymes' active site have specific shape or structure. Then it no longer fits or binds to the active site. It's not complementary to the active site, so it does not form an enzyme substrate complex, is the second mark. And the last mark is the consequence, which means the penicillin will not be broken down. Then the last question is reasonably straightforward. Farmers often keep large numbers of cattle together. Farmers used to give cattle food which had antibiotics added to it. Suggest how adding antibiotics to the food of the cattle increased the profit for the farmers. 2 marks. For this you can have the antibiotics kill pathogenic or harmful bacteria or pathogens. Disease is less likely. It improves health. You've got healthier animals. It reduces the spread of infection. Faster growth, more productive animals, more food is converted to meat, greater survival, lower vet bills, increased yield, less energy for fighting infection. All of those are allowed. 2 of them for the 2 marks.